Buenos días. No, mejor que eso. Buenos días. Así me gusta, un poquito más de energía. How many of us speak Spanish? All right, fantastic. Woo! México. Colombia. El Salvador. Woo! Guatemala. Eso. Every other country. No. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Me llamo Roberto Martinez. I am a Google digital coach and national trainer for Google. I've been doing this for Google for 2.5 years now. I go around the United States and I present on Google digital tools and services to help businesses, to help entrepreneurs, to help chingonas like yourselves grow your company and scale. So I'm very excited today. I don't know how we're going to do this. How many of us can see the screen? Unos que no, huh? Well, the ones in the front are going to tell the people in the back what's going on, all right? So afterwards, your guys' homework in the front is to tell people how to use this workshop. So I have about 45 minutes. I do this in Los Angeles, so if you guys can't hear me or want to learn more about digital marketing tools, feel free to reach out to me. Today's workshop is really cool. It's probably my favorite workshop because it's showing you, ladies and gentlemen, how to use digital marketing skills and data to grow your company and scale your company, scale your nonprofit. So how many nonprofits do we have in the room? Unos que dos. Okay. For Google for Nonprofit, we give you $10,000 of free grant dollars just by signing up. It's called Google for Nonprofits. How many small business owners? Okay, there it is. Fantastic. So this workshop is definitely going to be for you to help you grow your company. And we're going to talk about data. It sounds boring, sounds kind of old hat. I don't care about numbers, but we're going to talk about how to use numbers to grow your company, how to use information, data information that Google provides you to grow your company. So I love this quote, data makes my briefcase heavy, insights make me rich, right? So what does that mean? How do we use the information technology that's out there in the world to make our mission in life, our small business grow, right? So how do we use that? And that's what the conversation is going to be about today. So anyone that doesn't have my contact information, feel free to shoot me an email about anything regarding Google. If you have any questions, anything that you were curious about, Google Analytics, Google Paid Ads, Google My Business, you name it, I could get you the answer. If I can't get you the answer, I'll find someone that can. Also, we have an amazing project that allows you to reach out to an actual Googler and talk to them in real time about whatever small business problem you have pertaining to Google. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I also have a really cool event that's coming up in December as a thank you in Long Beach. We're gonna have a little reception. You guys are more than welcome. Están todas invitadas si quieren ir, eh? All right, let's get started with the workshop. Rumi, why am I showing you guys a case study? Well, this company was starting off and launched their website. How many of us have websites? Okay, so that's really important. Rumi launched their website and they realized, hey, there's a lot of data coming in. How do we make sense of this data? And what they do is they sell bags, reusable bags, so tote bags, you name it, they sell it. And all their customers were telling them, hey, we really care about reusable bags, but more importantly, we want to tailor and be able to edit the bags. So all this information came in, they were able to pivot their company, and now they're a multi-million-dollar company using the information that they learned from their consumer through their website. So that's what we want you to do. Understand the traffic, the data that's coming into your website to make business sense and grow your company. Before we get started, I want to talk about a couple insights, a couple key terminologies, and this is really to help you understand how to use Google Analytics. How many of us have set up our Google Analytics with our website? How many understand what the hell's going on, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. What the heck is going on with that data, okay? And there's a terminology called insights. What is an insight? It has to be novel or new and distinct, like, I never thought about that. It has to be credible. In other words, we have to be able to believe the information that's coming in. And last but not least, it has to be actionable. We have to be able to do an action, take an action. So you guys remember the Old Spice commercial? Hello, ladies, right? You guys remember that Old Spice commercial with the guy with the diamonds riding on the horses? Who is he marketing to? Women. He's marketing to women. So the marketing team of Old Spice did market research, looked at their data, and what they realized is, guess who goes shopping more than men? Women. 70%, to a tune of 70%. 70% of women are the ones that are the primary purchasers when they go to grocery stores. And Old Spice realized this. It was a novel idea. Wow, the people who are buying our products are women. It was credible. We could take an action, and it's something we can do to move the needle. So they launched this Old Spice commercial targeting you ladies, targeting you specifically to make sure that you buy their product. And what do? They do the handsome, dashing young man, selling you, standing there, riding horses, giving you guys diamonds. So that's what we want to do. We want to figure out what those insights are to move the needle for you. So we're going to go through a case study. And the case study example that we're going to use is James. James is a pizza owner. I use James because I absolutely love pizza. I consider myself a fatty, not a foodie. I love eating food. I'm gaining weight like this, but it's okay. I love my tortas. But I'm trying to cut off the bread. So James has a pizza shop, and he's trying to grow his company just like we are in this room, right? We're trying to grow our company, trying to figure out how to grow our company. And James is looking there, and he's asking questions. He's saying, you know what? How do I grow my company? How many of us like pineapple pizza? How many of us do not like pineapple pizza? Like, what is that? That's not pizza. That's like fruit salad, right? What James is trying to figure out, what can I offer? What can I give to my customer base to move the needle? One of the thoughts he had is selling pineapple pizza. The other one is cutting prices. We've all been there, right? We're trying to move sales, especially during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We're like, you know what? Maybe if we discount our rate. So he's trying to figure this out. He doesn't know how to go about doing it. So that's what he's thinking. Can some of us in this room relate to James when we're trying to move sales? We kind of don't know enough information, but we're trying to operate from a position of gut instincts, right? We run our company before, we know what we love, we know our industry. We're operating from a position of gut, but we don't really know what the data tells us. So what is data? So a data point is a piece of information. A data point would be 90% of the people in this restaurant are women, are chingonas, right? 10% are men. That's a data point. Analytical information is a trend. So if every single Saturday, 90% of women are in this room, every Saturday for the past 3 months, that's a trend now. So we could fairly assess that 90% of people in this room are going to be women every Saturday. And then the insight is, if we're going to market to these people, maybe the insight is everyone's 21 to 35. And so the kind of product or service we're going to sell is targeted for that group. So that's what we want to understand when it comes to data. And that's the insight. So we're going to talk about 3 things. We're going to talk about outlining goals, super important. What gets measured gets done. How many of us have heard of SMART goals? Yes. Okay, great. The second thing is there's no wrong questions, just wrong answers or dumb answers. And I, unfortunately, have the pleasure to give you guys some dumb answers. But you girls and gentlemen in the room are going to give me some smart questions. And we're going to show you how Google Analytics is going to provide to you the right type of question to give you the insight to move your sales. Last but not least, we're going to talk about choosing the right tool. We already know what the right tool is, Google Analytics. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about goals. Can someone tell me what a SMART goal is? What does the S stand for? Specific. Yes, in the back for an A. I love it. Specific. What's the M stand for? Measurable. A? Achievable. R? Relevant. And T? Time sensitive. You guys are pros. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time sensitive. When we create our goals for our company, we want to set up a framework of what's called SMART goals. We want to make sure they're relevant. A lot of people, especially small businesses, come to me and say, Robert, I want people to love me. I want to go back to high school. And I want people to follow me on Facebook and Instagram and like me. Is that going to help my company? Well, I want to grow my likes by 1,000. Well, is it specific? Is it a specific goal? Yes. Is it measurable? Yes. Is it attainable? Maybe. Is it relevant? Is getting 1,000 people online relevant? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. You have to attach a business case to it to make sure it makes sense for you and make sure it drives the sales that you want. So not every goal that you create is the right goal for your company. So you have to, this framework really helps you do it. And then time sensitive. You have to put a time constraint. Right? We might say we want to grow sales by 25%, 100%, 2,000%, but how long would that take us? Would it take us a week, a month, a quarter, a year? By setting up a guardrail, it's going to help you create the goal and make it manageable. So James's goal is to increase his online sales by 25%. Is that a SMART goal, ladies? Is it specific? Yes. Is it measurable? Is it attainable? We don't know. We don't. Tricked you guys, right? Are you guys paying attention? Is it attainable? We don't know. We don't know if historically he is hitting 25% of sales online. So we need to figure that out. Is it time sensitive? Yes. So he has pieces of it. So what about you ladies? What are some goals that you guys have? Just scream them out for your company. Sales. I like, who said that? Yeah, I'll give you, okay, so I'm not going to give you a $100 promo code because you're already a partner. But what are some other goals that we have? Sales is one. Visibility, branding. Retention, customer retention. What was it? Increase your customer base. All great goals. Foot traffic, phone calls. How much branding do we have? Do we having a brand lift? Are we getting a lot of calls coming into our store? Are we moving the needle when it comes to sales? All great goals. How do we measure that? Right? How do we measure that? So we have certain tools in Google that's going to help you understand how to measure those goals. So the first 4 categories that Google does a great job is understanding and helping you understand the reach. Who are you reaching? So you guys know those scooters? Those scooters, who are they targeting? Are they targeting people between the ages of 5 to 10? Or how about 65 to 75? Everyone else? Yes. So they understand who they're trying to reach, right? It's really important to create that understanding of what's called your customer persona. How many people are in this room today? What do you think? 100? Give or take? Is everyone in this room your ideal customer? No. You want to make friends with all of them and you want to drink mimosas with everyone, but you might not want them as customers. You might want to fire them as customers, as a matter of fact. We have to be very specific with the type of customer we're going after. We want to make sure that the customer and the energy that we're spending to attract that customer is the right customer. So when you engage with the customer, are they finding the answer to the questions they have? Because all of you ladies here are providing a solution to the marketplace. That's the way you guys are providing a solution. That's the way you guys could think about your business. There's a problem in my life, and you are solving that problem by offering a solution through your company. So are we providing the right answer online for our customer? Number 3 is, are we converting customers? Are we actually having them buy our products, use our services? And last but not least, it's sustainable. When we use Uber and Lyft, what's the first thing they did to buy us, to actually have us use their product? What's the very first ride that you got? What did they do? Free promo code. How much did they give it to you? Like $10, $15, $20? So, and what did they tell you? Here's a free promo code. We're going to give you your own promo code to do what? Share. Is that super sustainable? Right? It's a referral code. If you share with your friends, then you get your friends using their service and they grow. So are we using our company? Are we thinking through how to make our product or our service sustainable? So let's think about James. James is trying to increase sales by 25%. He doesn't know how to go about doing it, but he has to ask the right question. The first thing is, what are people searching for when it comes to the peak sale, right? Who is my audience? We talked about that. What is their age range? Are they male? Are they female, right? Targeting and selling to a woman is different than selling to men, right? So we have to think through that. And how did they find us online? We need to figure out those reach questions to better market them and better sell our product or service. The other piece is engagement. How do we ask the right type of questions? How do people find us? And once they find us, how do they use our product or our service? How do they engage with us? Are they using us and are they finding us on social, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn? If you're a financial advisor in this room, should you be on Instagram more than LinkedIn? Right? Are you thinking through that? Like, yeah, why am I spending so much time on Instagram if most of our customers are going to be found on LinkedIn? And then conversion questions. If I send 100 people to my website and 10 people call and 1 person convert, what's that conversion rate? 1%. But if I want to increase that conversion rate by 100%, how many more people do I have to send to the website? 100. Right? So understanding that math, and it's very basic math, is going to help you understand how to market better. And then what channel is the best channel for the return on my investment? We only have $100, let's say, hypothetically. We only have 24 hours in a day. How are we going to spend that $100? Are we going to spend it $10 on Facebook, $10 on Instagram, $10 on LinkedIn? No, we're not going to do that. We're smarter than that. We're going to figure out where our customers are converting. Where is the best place to market our company? And then we're going to use that channel, it's called the marketing channel, to promote the majority of our marketing budget. And then last but not least, goes back to the Uber question, how do we make this sustainable? How many of us go to Macy's, and then I do this all the time. I was actually doing this today in the morning, and I was leaving Macy's website, and guess what they do? They do a push notification and say, stay 15% off, right? And then give me your email, we'll give you another 10% off. How many of us never opened Macy's emails? Never. Until Black Friday, until Cyber Monday, right? We'll keep it right there until we absolutely need them. So how do we make it sustainable? I had a puppy. Every month, Petco will send me an email, every month, for a discount on dog food. And I would go and use that discount. Do you think I would walk away from Petco with just dog food? No, not even close. All kinds of goodies from a little puppy, right? Like everything under the sun. So they'll give me a $5 discount and I'll walk away with $100 spent at Petco. So that's how they make it sustainable. So how do you use the tools? We were talking theoretically, we were talking through analytics, and we're talking through theory, but now let's tie it all together. And we're gonna use James as an example of how we could use data to make sense of our company. So first things first, we all know I'm presenting on behalf of Google, so we're talking about Google Analytics tools. For you guys who haven't set up Google Analytics, you absolutely have to do that. It's completely free. You connect your website with Google Analytics. I would help you. It takes us 5 minutes. How many of us have set up our Google My Business page? How many have not? Okay, I love that, because then when you walk away from today, you have a direct action item that you could do to move your company forward and drive sales, and that's set up your Google My Business page. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So what are the insights that Google provides to us? Well, we already talked about it. What's going on right now on my website? Who is the audience that's coming into my website? Are they men? Are they women? What are they doing when they get there? How many clicks are they doing when they land on my website? How high is my bounce rate? Meaning, when they go to my website, do they stay on my website or do they leave right away? Really important stuff. And are they buying? Are they selling? Are they picking up the phone and calling us? So we can't really see this chart. I'll talk you guys through it. We connected James's Google Analytics to his website. And what we saw when the Google Analytics informed us is that the biggest buyers, 21% of their buyers are between the ages of 35 and 44. Okay, what does that tell us? Oh, now we have an age range. So what can we do with that? We now know that that's the primary buyers of their products. So when we create videos, when we create imaging, are we going to create it with kids or with adults like ourselves who are between the ages of 35 and 44? Myself included, right? So we're going to start thinking about, like, how do we create that kind of content? The second piece is, what's the best channel? What's the return on investment, right? So Google's going to tell you, here's all your different quote-unquote marketing channels that are driving people to your website. One of them is organic, but the top two for James is referrals. So let's say you're connected with the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce lists your company in their website. And then Google's going to tell you, a lot of people are buying from you that are coming from the Chamber of Commerce, right? So that's really important. The other one that James is learning is that the second biggest driver of sales is paid advertising for him. So he's doing a good job with paid ads. So now he could say, hey, I invested $100 into Google Ads. It's giving me back a return on my investment of $35,000 a month. That's pretty good. So what can we do about this? What action items can we derive from that data that just came in and stop operating from a position of gut instinct rather than a position of data? Well, the first thing is adjust our marketing spend, right? If we're targeting and we're sending a lot on paid ads, maybe we should keep pushing that channel. Or if we're driving a lot of traffic through quote-unquote referral websites like the Chamber of Commerce, like organizations like Latina Women Empowerment that you guys partner with, maybe that's the best place to do it. How many of you ladies have seen a Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz commercials with teenagers in it? No one, right? Because that's not their target market. You ladies are their target market, right? People who are older than 25 that can afford to buy a Mercedes, buy a BMW, buy a Tesla. So they're going to create videos, images that show you that age range of people. So you think about your own company. Well, if I'm marketing these people, does my marketing reflect the people that I'm targeting? That's something that Google Analytics can help you understand. Now, for those of us who have set up Google My Business gives you a bunch of free information. One of the free information they tell you is what are called business insights. And they'll tell you exactly where your customer is looking for and what part of the city they're looking for you. So for example, let's say your business is in Long Beach or your business is in Downey. Google My Business will show you how many people are searching for you in City of Bell, City of Gardena, City of Santa Ana, and then you can make a smart business decision. There was I tell the story of a company that's a panaderia, for lack of a better word, and they were thinking about where should we launch our new company. They used the data insights to realize there's a lot of people looking for them in Orange County, relative to Pasadena, relative to Glendale. So if they're gonna open a new store, it makes sense for them to open up the store where most people are searching for. And so here we have that information from James, and it's telling James there's a lot of people searching for you in certain parts of town, but more importantly, there's a lot of people calling you on the Wednesday between the hours of 6 and 8. Okay, now we're starting to put the pieces together. What's going on, ladies? There's a lot of people calling us. So first of all, what can we do with that information? Well, how many of us have tried to order food during the Super Bowl or during what's it called? The Bachelor's season finale. It's impossible, right? Never ever gonna get the pizza in time. So maybe what you can do as a business, if you know people are gonna be searching for and using your product during peak hours, you could staff more. Maybe if you know that you need a better system to take in orders, you create a new system like an app. Now you could order a pizza using an app. Do you guys know that? Like Domino's Pizza and what's the other one? You could actually just Pizza Hut. You could text them and they'll send you a pizza. It's pretty cool. You could offer incentive on different days or your least selling days, because now you know which are your best selling days and which are your worst selling days. There's a very cool tool called Google Webmasters that helps you understand that information. You guys remember the movie WALL-E? WALL-E? Yeah, a little machine that organized the world's trash, right? So Google organizes the world's information and makes it very easy for you to understand that information. And what I call WALL-E, the Google search algorithm, we call them Google bots. WALL-E's searching your website and comparing your website to everyone else's website. And so Google Webmaster helps you understand how WALL-E thinks. It helps you understand what keywords and key phrases your customer is searching for on the largest search engine in the world, which happens to be Google. How many of us love salsa? Bachata? Merengue un poquito, right? So we're friends with the Conga Room. Have you guys heard of the Conga Room in downtown LA? We're really good friends with the owners there, and they were asking us, hey, we're driving a lot of customers coming in on a Thursday. Do you know why, Robert? We connected Google Webmasters to their website, and we realized that LA Weekly was promoting the Conga Room on the Thursday. Well, that's a perfect marketing channel. If you only have $100 to invest, and you know that your customers are found on LA Weekly, you might as well invest your money on the marketing channel where you know your customers are found. Very powerful tool. So when you set up that powerful tool with your website, it's going to tell you the keywords and key phrases. It's going to tell you your ranking. There's a terrible joke, ladies, and I apologize for the joke ahead of time. Where do you bury the bodies? On the second page of Google. Why? Because no one goes on the second page of Google. We all stay on the first page, right? We never go to the second page. So Google Analytics and Google Webmaster is going to help you understand where you rank. When people type in your company or people type in the keyword or key phrase, what number are you in that list? Are you the first hit that comes up, the second, the third, or the 24th? For our friend James, he's the 24th. Is that good? No, he's with the bodies, right? He's hanging out with the bodies. The second thing is it helps you understand how many people actually click on your link. His click-through, it's called the click-through rate, is 2%. Is that good? No, that's terrible. So what can we do? We could do search engine optimization. We could optimize our website, do better what are called meta tags to inform our customer exactly what they're going to do when they find our website, exactly what they need to do when they read the description of our website so they click on it and it increases the click-through rate. We could also optimize our online presence using Google Analytics and Google Webmaster to understand the keywords and key phrases that we need to connect to our website to boost it up and be found on the first page of Google. Okay, so let's go back to James and let's think through James's customer. Let's put the pieces together. The customers are between the ages of 35 and 44. That's the first piece of information. The customers are looking for James's restaurant on a Wednesday between the hours of 6 and 8, and they're looking on a mobile device. What is going on? Yeah, who said that? Moms and soccer parents, that's exactly right. So maybe Monday and Tuesday they cooked for them, but on Wednesday they're tired, they're leaving work, they're driving to work, they don't want to cook. They're like, I don't want to cook. So what do? They reach for their phone, right? I have a terrible joke. What's the first thing we do when we wake up? Do we hug our families? Do we tell them we love them, our significant other? Or do we reach for that phone, right? How many people like my Instagram post, right? So yes, those individuals for James's restaurant are reaching for their phone at 6 o'clock when they're leaving work because they don't want to cook, and they're requesting a pizza. They're ordering a pizza and they're calling him, right? So now we know exactly how to market. We know who we're marketing to. As opposed to operating from a position of gut instinct, we already know intuitively who the person is, so we could create amazing marketing around that. How do we do that? With Google Ads. So Google Ads is a platform. How many of us have used Google Ads? How many of us has not used Google Ads? So once you set up your Google My Business page, Google will give you a free $100 promotional code to get started. And the way it works is you give Google $100. Google's like, great, when do you want to use this $100? You pick the day, the hours that it runs, the locations and cities and states that it runs. And anytime anyone types in keywords and key phrases, you tell Google, hey, anytime anyone types in these keywords or key phrases on the Google search engine, I want my ad to pop up. That's Google Ads. So James realized that his click-through rate is 71%, really good. And it's on mobile devices. The majority of people are seeing his ad on the mobile device, and we talked about that. We realized that James's customers are driving home, they're looking for an option for dinner, they reach for their phone, they Google it, James's ad pops up, and then they click on it. Very powerful stuff. So what can he do? He could really, really, really milk that channel and advertise in that channel. So I want you guys to think about, where are my customers found, what are their age ranges, and how do I optimize my online presence to make sure I drive those customers? James realized one of the best channels is paid ads. So remember I told you, ladies, I'm a fatty, not a foodie? I have a friend, his name is not James, his name is Juan. No, it's not Juan. His name is Esteban. He owns a pizza shop a couple blocks away from me. And I absolutely love bread, but I try to cut down on my bread consumption. So now I want gluten-free options, right? And I love cauliflower crust pizza. And I told him, Esteban, offer cauliflower crust. This is 2.5 years ago. People love this stuff. He looked at me right in the eye and he said, listen here, you hippie, get the hell out of my pizza shop. We order and we eat, we're Mexican, we eat like good Mexicans, pan bimbo and all that good stuff. We're not going back. But I told him, okay, don't trust me. Trust your ideal customer. Trust your prospective customer. There's a tool called Google Trends, and I showed them how many people are looking for cauliflower crust. How many people in his market are looking for gluten-free options? So, Esteban, if you want to drive sales, look at that yellow line, yellow line. It's just going higher and higher and higher. That's your prospective customer. If you just offer that service, you're going to increase sales. So he did, and he didn't give me commission or anything like that, but he drove some sales and I got some free slices. So one of the things you can do is understand what your customer is searching for, understand what your customer is looking for by using Google Trends and comparing the different search terms and saying, well, if I'm in the financial sector, what are the 3 services prospective customers care about? Type in those 3 services and see how many people are searching for them. And then what can you do with that information? You could add it to your website. So Esteban and James added gluten-free options to their website. They started promoting it. They started advertising it because they want people who are searching for those words and phrases on Google search engine to go to their website. Okay, we're wrapping up. How am I on time? Just about over. Okay, fantastic. So let's wrap up. Recap real quick. What gets measured gets done. I have there's a very popular phrase, in God we trust, everyone else bring their data, right? So now you have the tool to bring your data to whoever markets your company. Here's our data, make sense of it so you can increase sales. We want to outline the goals using the SMART goal format. We want to talk about the right questions. Who is our customer? Where do they live? When do they visit us? Why are they saying yes to us? What actions are they taking online? You could learn all those answers to those questions by using Google Analytics. We're going to use the right tool, Google Analytics, Google Webmaster, Google Ads, Google My Business, all free and paid tools that Google provides to you ladies to run your company, have a better sense of how to run your company. And then last but not least, make sure you measure for success. If you guys want more information, we have an amazing website called Grow with Google. Just type in Grow with Google. We have amazing workshops as well coming up in the next couple of weeks and next year. If you guys want to learn more about it, go to Google Digital Coaches. Google Digital Coaches. You'll see my mugshot there for the City of LA. And yes, I'd like to thank you guys so much for having me here, and I'll open up for questions. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So the question was, once I set up and Google My Business, what could I do? How do I leverage it? And what are some things that we do really well? And what are some things people don't do really well? The first thing is reviews. Probably the most important piece. Reviews are so important. And the reason why is because people want to trust you. If you have 0 reviews, do I trust you? If I've never heard of you? No, it's like family. Like the more you see family, the more you like them or don't like them, but at least you know, right? The second functionality is that you could get texts. Google My Business, when you set up Google My Business, you could actually set it up so that you could receive text messages. It's a very powerful tool. So think about that. Anyone that you want can now text your company directly and ask you questions. I have a story about my mom. My mom, she's a little bit older in age, and I never thought that buying her a phone would result in her texting me all the time. She now can't stop texting, mijo, when are you getting married? Mijo, when are you getting me grandchildren? Like, mom, I'm married to Google, all right, stop. So it gives you the functionality to receive text messages from your prospective customers in real time. You hide, and it hides your number. It gives you a Google Voice number to hide it. It's a really cool tool. I think people don't leverage that tool, and they don't leverage the review system, which is super important. Yes, ma'am. Google My Business. Oh, within it, it's called Google Messages. So within your Google My Business page, there's a functionality called Messages, and you can receive messages. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So we just signed up a new business, and we went through Yelp.
Mm-hmm.
Would Yelp be like your competition?
I can't even pronounce that name. You mean Elp? No, you know what? I can't. If you're how many restaurants are in the room? Few? No one. Fantastic. So Yelp is a very powerful tool. A couple months ago, actually earlier on last year, they got sued. They got taken to court because they're saying that they manipulate their algorithm, and the California courts held up their software and said they could do whatever they want. So what does that mean? That means for you as a business owner, Yelp controls the way your listing pops up. It controls who sees it first. It could bury leads. It could raise reviews, bury reviews. It's a necessary. I call it a necessary evil. I don't want to badmouth them. It's important, especially because if you're selling a service that interfaces with the customer, it's really important to make sure that you have reviews on Yelp, on Google My Business. Google will never charge you for Google My Business. It's a free tool. There was a study 5 years ago from the Harvard Business Review, and they talked about las estrellitas, how much does it cost us to raise the stars, and more importantly, what's the value of a star? And what they realized is just by increasing your star by 1, you increase revenue by 6 to 10%. So if you're making $100,000 a year, and you just go from a 3 to a 4, that's an additional $10,000. Something to think about. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Is it worldwide, Google Analytics? Is that a worldwide?
It is. It's fantastic. For some reason, I have my own company, and a lot of people visit me from India. I don't know why. And Thailand. I'm like, why? Brave. My company's called Brave. I'm like, why are people visiting me from Thailand? I guess I have to go to Thailand and find out. But yeah, it's national and it's global, and you could get very granular and see the different cities that people are visiting you. Yes. So Google My Business will give you a breakdown of who called you and from what part of the city. Google Analytics will not do that. Google My Business will. Yeah, great question. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Great question. Is Google My Business only for e-commerce or brick and mortar? When you set up Google My Business, you tell Google exactly what kind of business you have, and you could say, hey, Google, I don't want to show my address. You could hide your address. What you do tell Google is your coverage area. You could choose a city. You could use multiple cities. You could choose a state. You could choose a country, right? So sometimes when you look at companies and they have a service area of like a whole state, that's what they did. They don't want to show people where they live. Because sometimes as we're getting our company started, we're starting from our kitchen, right? Yes, ma'am. Great. I've been looking for a therapist. Okay, so my mom. HIPAA compliance? Yeah. Google's HIPAA compliant when it comes to your information and it informs you, but there's no compromising. I'm trying to figure out the question.
So for example, if I use the Google account to email to my feelings, how does that apply to Google?
So Google, your compliancy is your compliancy. Whatever verbiage you have to use within your email threads, I would submit that. So Google has no stake in that. They won't monitor. They won't tell you what to do. You have to do it yourself. Yes. Great question, though. Yeah, I work with some nonprofits and I work with some clinics, and so they're very top of mind when it comes to compliancy, especially HIPAA. Yes.
What do you do in your business?
What do I do?
You said you have your own business.
My team hates me. They're like, Robert, you're never around, because I travel a lot. But I think that's a broad question. What do I do for my, like, what's the service? Oh, marketing, obviously. So the way Google, get this, guys. 6 years ago, I was working with a company. Me and my friend launched a company. And we're like, we're going to make million, and we're going to work with the best companies and the best brands. And, surprisingly, we did very well, very fast. And we worked with huge companies. And I did a program. It's called the Stanford Latino Entrepreneurship Program. You guys should definitely apply. I absolutely love it. I'm a good friend. I could get you guys in. I promise you that. I'm close with the executive director and the board of directors. I used to work for them. In any case, I was working with these guys, and they have something called your frontliners and broken glass. And the frontliners are people who are doing the day-to-day work, right? People who are interfacing with your primary customers. And I realized that this particular individual reached out to me and said, hey, I haven't gotten paid in a month, which is, we pay every 15 days. And it was weird, like, why haven't this guy got paid? And, I'm over here in the clouds, right? And I went and I talked to the accountant, and I realized that my partner, a mean way of saying it was embezzling. Another way is was borrowing money from the company to a tune of $75,000. So I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. What do I do? And he's like, well, I borrowed it to help my mom. I'm paying it back. Don't worry about it. But I realized I can't trust him. And so I kind of had a come into Jesus moment in Stanford, and I met with my mentor, and I said, you know what? It's great making money, but I want to help my community. How do I help my community doing what I love? He said, why don't you launch a company focused on small business? Latinas, Latinos, entrepreneurs, startup companies. Like my mom was an entrepreneur. It's like, focus on them. You're really passionate about, you're really good at digital marketing, but you're really passionate about small business. So if you do that, it's going to help you, and it's going to drive you when you don't want to work. And so I'm presenting my new company in Stanford, and there's a Googler in the room. And they're like, hey, you know what? We love your mission. We want to hire you and work for Google. And that's why I started working with Google. So, hey, follow your mission, follow your passion. It's going to lead you there. And so that's what I do. I do digital marketing for small business. Yes. Long story. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. So I call it the crawl, walk, and run model. We don't want to spend a lot of money, and the website's like a car. Everyone wants to drive the Ferrari, the Porsche, but let's start with, the Honda. So functionality over everything. Google My Business gives you a free website. It's called a microsite, and it's called a stopgap. Terminology meaning we're going to just get you online and get you started and start driving money, right? So when you set up your Google My Business, they give you one page. It's a landing page in essence. You create that, and then you start developing out your website while you have that landing page up, right? You shouldn't be spending, especially when you start your company, more than $1,500 at most for a website, because you're testing out the concept, right? It's called agile marketing. You test it out, and then we used to call it messing up or effing up. Now we call it pivoting. Like, oh, we started here, and then we pivot here, and then we pivot here. Perfectly fine. You got to figure out your market. You got to figure out your segment, and you just keep pivoting until you find your right target. Why are you going to spend $5,000, $7,000 on the website when you don't know if that's where you should be standing? So start slow. create an online presence. There's Wix, there's Squarespace, there's WordPress. There's a ton of free websites out there as well. I'm with Squarespace and WordPress. I mean, you get started there very easily. Yes.
So I have like a blog page website,
Yeah.
and it's called Crazy Sexy Finance.
Ooh,
So
I like it.
know that when people search for it,
Yeah.
like obviously there's some so that's why what I do is that
You're attached to the, okay, so she said, check this out. I love this. Her company is Crazy Sexy Finance. Ooh, it's getting hot. What you can do is really invest into your brand. I think you have an opportunity there because there's such high search volume for that, and you could really create a strong brand. I absolutely love it. So there's a very popular girl. I tease about being a fatty but not a foodie, but you know, my mom wanted a girl and I was a guy. So she still calls me mija till this day. I'm 37. She's like, mija. I'm like, ma, I'm a grown man. So yeah, let me get back to this. So there's an opportunity there. And so my mom taught me how to cook and clean and bake. I absolutely love baking. And there's this very famous blogger called I Am Yi, and she does amazing food. You guys, I don't get the joke. Oh, no. There's plenty of flaws. I'm gonna talk to the therapist after, right? Trust. I'm nowhere close to being perfect. But going back to cooking and cleaning and baking, I Am Yi, right? So she's fantastic, and she started off as a blogger. And she started blogging about different foods for millennials and different types of food and like, you know, a keto diet and paleo diet. And I followed her, I loved her. And then she realized, hey, people love reading my stuff, but guess what they love more? Videos, right? It's Latinos I hate this term, over-index. We use it more than any other platform, YouTube. You know, and going back to being chingonas, like, don't tell me what to do, I'll do it myself, right? Like, I go on YouTube, I'll figure it out, I'll do it myself, DIY. So, for your company, you can start thinking about how do I leverage the current people that are following me on YouTube, right? And then creating that following. YouTube is such a sticky platform. It's so powerful. But what I would do is I would think about the branding and how to connect those words to drive traffic to my website. And once you drive traffic, if you have a lot of traffic, you use a tool called Google AdSense. For those publishers in the room, Google AdSense will give you money for having traffic to your website. And some companies get a lot of money, like $1,000 a month, right? Because of the amount of traffic. So what I would do is I'll think about it conceptually. I'm more than happy to sit down with you and think through it because it's a branding and it's a marketing opportunity because there's so much traffic coming. Great question. Anyone else? Yes. I'm gonna start charging you ladies. Like food and the drink over here, like comedy show. Yes. Sí. No la puedo oír. Sí, en Google Mi Negocio. Sí. Sí. Uf. Inmediatamente. Tengo un amigo, mira, al momento de lanzar Google Mi Negocio, let me tell you, at the moment you launch Google My Business, you could see all the information, how much information is being provided immediately. We have Wi-Fi. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but you could see how many people have posted. How many of us know Downey, the city of Downey, right? I have a friend there that has a restaurant, and we could tell how many people are going to his website in real time, how many times they posted, how many times they reviewed something on Google My Business, how many times people have seen the images, the videos. So have you guys heard of BRB Resto Bar? BRB Social? Okay, so I don't know if you could see this, but that's Google My Business page, right? And you could give access to users. If you want to give access, you go down to where it says users and provide access to them. You could see how many people saw your images. There's something called Google Post that's free as well. So obviously Latinos love to drink, so No, nada que ver. Nah. Tomar qué? So this tells you how many people saw this image, how many clicks received from the image. Like it even gives you, on the insights section, there's even a heat map, the keywords and key phrases, how many people find you on search versus Google Maps, what people use to find you, so this is really important for you, right? You can start realizing what are the phrases they use to find crazy, sexy finance. Yeah? Oh, perfect. So it tells you all like how many people search for these phrases, and then you incorporate that into your website. So this is going to tell you how many of your employees went online and actually posted. Check Chingona? Well, oh, you know what? We could definitely use Google Trends to do that. We could go on Google Trends and see if Chingona is trending. All right, let's see. Let's see how many people are searching for Chingona right now. Don't type anything on your phone. I see you guys playing with your phone. Chingona, there it is. So, kind of, right around May 19th to 25th, I saw a huge spike, 80% in search volume. That's pretty good. And look at the states. I don't know if you can see that, but southwestern states, obviously. Look at New Mexico, killing it, 100%. That's fantastic. So that gives you an idea of how many people are. So let's say we want to compare the different terms. So you're launching a company, you're thinking, what word do I want to use that's trending right now? But you never want to create a company off a trend, right? Because it's not sustainable. But you could say chingona, you could add another word. What's another word we could compare? Latina. Chinga. So if we Google chingona versus Latina, let's see what pops up. Oh, Latina is killing it, obviously. Yes. Yeah. We could do that, and then compare it to. No, it's not. No se puede. No, I'm not going to embarrass anyone right now. Are we good? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys. Ah, look at that.
Not for you, not for you.
Well, for you or for the Latina in your life, whether mom, girlfriend, lo que sea. Muchas gracias, Roberto. Muchas gracias.
Roberto, I hope you're going to stick around for a little bit and just mingle.
Open bar?
Open bar for you, or buy him a drink if you want. No, but I think
there's like so many women here that can buy you a drink.
I'll buy them a drink.
yeah.
All right,
so
thank you.
because I have a question for you, but later. But I went to the Stanford entrepreneur, but long time ago. But anyway, we'll talk later. But anyway, he'll be here for a little bit. So if you guys have any questions you were too shy to ask, please ask him while he's mingling.